That's all good. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sid's Blue Sky Farm. It's been an interesting morning so far. Blazing hot for a while, and now we've got a pretty heavy layer of cloud. So we'll see what the day brings us. As you can see, I was doing just a little maintenance on the old truck, getting a little water in it, checking the oil. And you know, it's never a bad idea with a truck this age. I was thinking about it just yesterday. My grandfather bought this truck in November of 1965. It was a 1966 model. So that'll make this old truck 60 years old in just a few months. She's still working pretty hard, so very happy to have her on the farm here. It's the only pickup truck we have. So if something calls for a truck, this one has to step up. Just a couple of other quick updates. We were able to get the fallen oak tree from the birthday storm cut up, limbs moved away, cleaned up. And of course, the silver maple that broke in half. The tree guy said, "You know this is going to die, right?" So what do? I said, "Yeah, maybe, but let's just wait." So we'll take a chance on that. As far as the farming goes, the gardening goes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 garden plots and one small bucket garden plot. They're all terrible. It's just been not a very good year for me to garden. We've gotten a little field corn that we picked early. The rest we're just going to leave for the deer. The only thing that is really going crazy at the moment is the okra, and that you would expect with the hot weather and getting rain, pretty good rain back and forth. And if you just think about chores and working on your place, this was my day on, let's see, today's Thursday, on Tuesday. It had been very dry. We hadn't gotten much weather, so everything was drying out. It was looking pretty bleak. So I got up early, watered the field corn with a sprinkler, hand watered most everything else in the yard, drug hoses around for an hour and a half. Decided to get my sprayer out because, you know, the weeds are going to jump up after that rain last week. So for about another 45 minutes, I sprayed weeds. Then I got on the mower, cut the yard, blew all the clippings off the driveway, parked it, walked back in this garage, and it started pouring rain. So what are you going to do? You know, I couldn't wait. I didn't wait. And those efforts were, well, they weren't wasted, but the spraying for weeds certainly was wasted. That didn't work out very well. They're all looking nice and healthy as we speak right now. But we'll get back at it. We'll do that again later on and see if we can't knock them down. Today, we're going to work on some of the field corn weed issues. We're going to try to beat some of the weeds back. We're going to cut another bushel of okra. And the other good thing I failed to mention about the gardens, we are beginning to see eggplant. Probably a half dozen or so. There's another half dozen out in the field. And we're finally starting to see the eggplant begin to produce and form up. Tomatoes are just awful. The tomatoes have really thick skin, bottom rot. They have a very good propensity to just split open and rot on the vine. So it's the weather. It's probably not the greatest of soil since I haven't done a whole lot to prep the soil. And I'm getting really close to the idea of just punting gardening 2025. And maybe we'll get ready for gardening 26 in a little while and just write this one off as a tough year. And yeah, there's the sun pops back out and makes me really have a hard time seeing the camera. We're going to, as I said, get down and take care of cutting the okra. We're going to try to do that weed control, and we'll go down and make sure everything's good at the pond. Maybe kill a couple snakes. I had to do that again yesterday. And just, I guess it's the weather for snakes to enjoy the pond as well. And as I've said many times, I don't enjoy snakes, especially water moccasins. They don't make the cut in my world. So until we get some video of some of these things, we'll leave it here, and we'll maybe take the camera down and film some of the work we do on the okra cutting and maybe the weed control in the corn. So we'll come back and wrap up in just a little while. Who knows, we may find something even more interesting while we're down there. Talk to you soon. I decided to walk over with the camera and give everyone a quick review of the watermelon patch here in the cornfield. A couple more on the other side. We'll walk down to the other watermelon vine, which is doing just as well. See one hiding out in there. One growing out here on its own. And then a couple, let's see, there's 1, 2, and 3 right there. So this little watermelon patch is doing really well. And here's a shot of the okra. So I've got a little work ahead. Guess I better get at it. Thought I'd give you just one quick glimpse of the okra from the lower garden. We're going to cruise up and take a look at the volunteer watermelon patch on the hill. We got one more okra field to cut before, hopefully, a little more rain comes. And now we're back up at the top of the hill. Couple of melons there. There's one more smaller one out in that area. This must have been a very, very fertile spot. 4 of them, 5 of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's the 6th one. And then there's one more. Hard to see, but down in there. Obviously, watermelons would have been the choice for crops this year. I could have saved a lot of money and a lot of time if I had done nothing but that. One more quick stop on our way, just so you can see 2 other fairly reasonable success stories right over there. And the last couple of things I want to show you from this side of the field, the crabapple tree. You may not be able to see them. I can't in this camera right here, but let me just tell you, 1 million have blown down on the ground, and there's 1 million still up in the tree. Very happy about the crabapple crop, although I didn't do anything to make it happen. That was all nature. But I am really happy to report that the quince tree still has, I think, 5 quince. There's one sticking up in the air. After being here for 3 years, this tree's never produced anything, but this year it decided to give us a few quince. We'll see if they can ride out the storms for the rest of the summer and develop and be able to pick them and try to eat them. So now let's head down to the last okra patch right through there. And that's the sweet corn, and we'll work on a little weed problem we have there. Everything else we're pretty much ignoring at this point in the year. So let's go work on that last garden down there before it rains. And as you can see, we made a detour. I forgot about this next to the last okra patch. So we're going to knock it out. Boy, that field corn plot there is pretty thin and pretty weak, but I guess it did its best. So let's cut this okra and then we'll get the last one knocked out and try to get this morning wrapped up. Well, as the rain starts to come down, we got the okra, the last row picked, and I even managed to do a little weed eating in between the corn rows. That worked out an awful lot better than I thought it would. I figured I would just cut down most of the corn with my weed eater. But as it turns out, pretty fairly accurate job. That big patch of beans there in the middle. Sweet corn, tasseling. Getting ready, hopefully, to make some ears. A little more rain and I'll get started. So we're going to call it for this morning. Maybe we'll come back and finish up the weed eating later on today. Hope you guys have a great Thursday. We'll talk to you soon.